All right, so I'm Christina Stacia, and you can find me at ChristinaStacia918.com. This is my podcast. This is Listen Next-778. You can look up my podcast on the internet. You can Google me, Christina Stacia918. You can type in Speaking to the CIA podcast by Christina Stacia. You should be able to find it on YouTube or on Podbean or on my website. Okay, so I want to do a couple of recordings. Let me do these couple of recordings. Okay, so this is going to be more loose ends, but more evidence of Jean Roberts and her Manson occult, present day and throughout history and throughout all of my life, of stalking me, stalking my family, and committing terrorism and running trafficking rings. And you know what Jean Roberts is guilty for. So here's something else that she did. Okay, so there's a massive, gigantic lie that she makes up. Everything she says is a lie. Every single thing she says is a lie. Okay, so she uses Charles Manson knick-knack paddywhack code. She creates these demonic ciphers, and then she goes and commits acts around these ciphers, which is assault, which is murder, which is terrorism, which is lying, slander, framing, anything you name it. Okay, she does this to commit crime with. Okay, so some of this stuff she tried to pull off that she couldn't pull off, but yet it's all still there. Or some of it is stuff that she intended to pull off and couldn't pull off, but still there. And some of this has given her like so much, what's the word I want to use for? You know how I told you her ciphers stack over time? Okay, so some of these ciphers have given her so much like jolly, if you will. I mean, that's what she's doing. She's getting her jolly. She thinks she's getting away with committing crime and being the criminal of the century, and everybody covered her ass and worshipped her to death, and she got away with it all. And no, that's not going to work for Jean Roberts. But anyway, so some of it is like in multitudes, like the ciphers are in multitudes, like tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff. Like so much stuff, I don't even write it all down or even report it all, because it's just more of the same. It's the same thing, just in a different way. She's literally bragging about committing crime and assaulting and trafficking and committing terrorism. But here's one of the things she uses. You know, she likes her little cliches and her syrupy slap and all that. So here's another one that she used. That's the way the ball bounces. So she used that. You'll have to figure that out on your own. She did that. She did a whole bunch more, but that's one of them that she did. And then also going with that is, you know, when you go to a karaoke place and the words come up on the screen and the little ball bounces over the words to help you like sing in time with the screen, with the words on the screen. Okay, so karaoke goes to this. Okay, so I want to go all the way back to the 70s with her Carrie theme, with the pig blood and all of that, Stephen King's Carrie. Okay, remember what she did to me when I was little, reenacting by using ice on me and my friends. And she dumped it was when I lived in Globe. I was in grade school, and she dumped water. It wasn't a pail, they were water balloons. Stop trying to control. Even she did that, water balloons, WB. She freaking did that too. And then, you know, water balloons also goes to, and also see balloons. That's on my on my Winnie the Pooh dress. I decoded all the water and then balloons. See, I'll decode around all of that. Even balloons, ball. And then what happened? So anyway, so I was on my friend's front porch in grade school, and she eye tripped all us. I went over there to go play. I had a brand new dress on that my grandma Wilson bought me, and she was in town from the valley visiting us. And I had a real pretty sundress on. And I was like so excited. And I went over to my friend's house. They were across the street, and they were on the front porch. My friends were, and then they're like, "You stand there. We'll be right back." And then they go up to the top floor bedroom, and they go out the top window. And she's also using Amityville Horror because it's the top window over the front porch. So the top window, like the Amityville Horror house. So anyway, so next thing you know, I'm getting like completely pummeled with like water balloons, and I was soaking wet. And it was a whole Stephen King Carrie reenactment theme. I was just standing there just like drenched, but it was water falling. So she was ice raping my friend. She was ice raping me. And this goes with all the other Stephen King stuff she used. I've decoded so much Stephen King that she's used. It's insane. All my life. So we're talking, I've decoded the Langoliers. I've decoded it. I've decoded, oh my gosh, Cujo. There's so freaking much that I've decoded of Stephen King. She used Stephen King. I was like, God dang. Like, God dang, man. Like, you're obsessed with Stephen King. But then again, his name is Stephen. She loves her some Stevens. Just like she loves Stephen Parent. She killed him. He's one of the Charles Manson victims. Those are biblical names. I'm not saying that Stephen King acts in a biblical way. I'm saying because he has a biblical name, Jean, like, attacks. And she's probably using that, like, two-way, because she's probably trying to pretend that she's not a Satanist. And since he writes horror films, she thinks it's a get-out-of-jail-free card for herself. So that's why she attacks him. Misery is another one. There's so many Stephen King. I've decoded. She used Stephen King a lot in my life, all of my life. So anyway, I ran home bawling and crying. So that goes to this. So then, later, okay, so now I'm growing up. I'm in my stepdad's name was Jeff. Okay, so then later I grew up, all right, present day, like 2007 to 2009. And what does she do? She does the AIW, and she does something else, and it's to the tune of all this. And then what is that person's relative's name? You see how this all connects together? Jean stalks and traffics and abuses babies, children, and adults. Makes money, commits terrorism with the money. So this is more evidence of that. Okay, now going back to the 70s again, I was shown this by religious clergy. Jean did this too, because I was going, what's with the cat, like the catheter and the Kathy, her obsession with catheter and Kathy, besides obviously her cat theme. They said, Christina, you've already decoded, which I have decoded so much. I mean, all the way back to the beginning of time. They're like Catholic. She's a Satanist. She's committing blasphemy. That goes to Catholic. And another thing that Jean used is chatty Kathy, the phrase chatty Kathy. And that would go to Chatsworth Canyon. And that would also go to her using the famous book as part of her ploy, Puss in Boots. Another thing that she does, and this again goes all the way back to my childhood, all the way back to me being a baby when she assaulted me with a pencil when I was a baby at 2 months old, Jean Jernigan Roberts. Okay, so another thing that she does is coochie coochie coo. The phrase coochie coochie coo, when you say that to little babies, coochie coochie coo. She did that too. So, and that would also go to terrorism that she committed a couple years ago. They already know. Ew, and she freaking did that too. Ew. Not at you, Christina. There, people are talking through me. What Jean did to stop. what Gene Roberts did to me, Gene Roberts owns a trafficking ring. So she stopped trying to control my speech and my inflection. I'm going to continue this recording while I'm being attacked by the freaking Ice Adventists who are just innocent and didn't ever. Oh, see, she's literally running away my speech right, and just record, make your report. We know she controls your speech, Christina. They're all on. They think they're showing off like they're getting away with shit. They're in the back end of your brain. I can hear them right now going, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, another thing that she did that goes with this same thing, and I've never said this, I decoded it in my brain. I'm like, oh my God, she did not do that. She sure in the frick did. Okay, so Gene Roberts, she's the leader of Charles Manson. You're going to have to go through all my podcasts, okay? And she always has been since the beginning of Charles Manson. Okay, so got to go all the way back to the 60s and what it was like in the 60s, okay? So I was born in 71. So when she assaulted me with the pencil, she was also using the phrase baby killer. Because this is what she was going to do with it. Because people, hippies, everybody that was against the Vietnam War and that were mad at soldiers back then, they would call veterans baby killers. It was a big thing. It was very hurt. It was like, it was very, very bad. It was very, very bad in ways you cannot understand. Like, it killed people. And she did that to me. Okay, because my dad is a retired Marine colonel, and he is a retired Vietnam vet. He was in the Vietnam War. So, and he's a retired Marine colonel. So, this is what she did. When she assaulted me with the pencil, and you know she's trying to frame the Marines. This is her whole plot and scheme since the 1960s, is to frame the Marines, blame the Marines for everything. So she's saying, I'm going to kill you because she wants to sacrifice me. I told you she planned to sacrifice me. Okay? And then flip it around. She's given the bird to the military, and then she flips it around, and then she acts like she is gonna kill me in the future, kissing the military's ass. And the military should just love on her to death. Like, I'm just like she hooked herself up in a relationship with your dad, stalking her. People are talking through her. She stalked my dad. She controlled all my relationships. She controlled my dad's relationships too. And so she just even her doing that, and like how she did the corpse bride, she's doing that too, baby killer, and she's referring to her. So and she used to call herself baby all the time when I lived in Slidell. And that was because my dad's neighbor's friend, who's mob, his wife is named Baby. So she was trying to steal her name. But now you see what she was doing was she was doubling down. She's pretending, Gene Roberts is pretending that she's mob. And she's like, she's gonna kill me. No, you're freaking not, Gene Roberts. You're goddamn turned in. So anyway, also, there's also, I've decoded this before, and I've turned Gene in for it. In the past, in the 60s, there has been drownings here in Oklahoma, and I know Gene Roberts and her Manson occult because I decoded the crimes. And I turned Gene in for it, really old drownings. And I think a Lake Tin Killer is one of them. But anyway, Tin and then Tennyson, Tennyson, is a United States Marine Corps reference. So anyway, so killer and pencil, okay? So she's using the phrase baby killer. And she's trying to say the Marines didn't do it. You're freaking did. You're like, watch how bad I can flip and switch this around. So killer and pencil go together. Okay. So if you do the reduction between KILLER and PNCIL, you get KLR PNC. So here's the decode that comes out of that. Killer punch. And also in the same time frame in the 70s, she committed the Jonestown Massacre. Okay, so she's doing she's making a killer punch reference. Then you have pickler, vinegar, Eve, Adam, and Adam, apple, apple pie. Then she's also using I like Ike, which is Ike is President Eisenhower's nickname. Okay. You know how she loves the word like and love. Those are Jean's mainstays. She has committed terrorism. She traffics. She commits terrorism. She lies. She will do anything possible to get away with all this, and there's no way that she can. So Eisenhower is one of the guys, one of the presidents that started the United States highway system. So that's signs of future terrorism. So you really want to look at all of this because there's probably more future, present to future planned terrorism in it that Gene Robertson or Manson occult plans. And then she's also she's tearing up President Eisenhower's name with Eisenhower. She's saying it's in her is what she's saying. She is vulgar. And then, okay, so I'm going to continue. They're talking in the back of my brain to each other, doing a little clip stitch like you're getting away with it. So anyway, so also Parker, my teacher, my first grade teacher, so fast forward a little bit to me being in first grade, Mrs. Parker, and then my second grade teacher, Mrs. Cooney Gatto. Okay, so she assaulted me at 2 months old and then at 4 months old and then again at 6 when I was 6 to 8 years old. Okay. And that was her paying the doctors to put something in me. Okay. So anyway, it's all of this is like, I've decoded all of this and I'm just going to continue talking. So I'm showing you more connections here. So if you look at the ciphers here, you can see what she's saying in all of this. So Capricorn is in here. So you look at the symbol for Capricorn, it's got N and V. Now, you know, my childhood nickname is Nina, and she wanted to steal my childhood nickname and turn it all around, steal my identity and and get away with all her stuff. So N and V, and then N and V, and then also she planned to make herself captain in the Navy. So she's also using Nineveh. And then guess what else she did? So Nineveh is the city in Babylonian times in Genesis that Nimrod built. Nimrod. Again, pencil. So she's got my nickname in there, and then she's trying to like steal me and steal what she did to me and turn it around and have herself worshipped and victimized. So that is sign is in Capricorn. So she's using that symbol as my nickname, which means even before that was pre-planned by her. So I told you I chooses names. Like your parents name you out of love. Like I name my children out of love. Like my mom named me out of love. Like your parent, but you got to remember, she's had stolen artificial intelligence using on society, using on people that she has purchased, and she will speak and think and do anything she wants through you, and she will choose your children's names. Okay, she did that to me. Okay, so this is more evidence of her choosing my nickname, Nina. So anyway, so that was pre-planned even before I was born. So she knew she was going to name me Christina Nina even before I was born. Now how in real life, this is all real life, but this is hidden real life and real life that everybody sees. In real life that everybody sees, my mom named me Christina after my Aunt Christine, which is also a Stephen King movie. And you know what? My Aunt Christine is my mom's favorite aunt. She attacks everything that is my favorite. She attacks a lot of things that are my mom's favorite. So anyway, she named me, so in real world that everybody sees, she named me after my Aunt Christine, okay? And in the real world, what everybody sees, how I got my nickname was I wasn't able to pronounce my name Christina when I was little. So they would say, my family would say, what is your name? And I would say Nina. And then that's how I got my nickname, okay? But all of that proves that she was icing my family. She was icing me in order to make it look like it's all natural and I'm just crazy and, you know, Jean Roberts is just white and fabulous and everybody just build a stage for her in frickin' Times Square and let the whole United States bow to her. And she is the all in the Evernest and la la la. So anyway, I mean, her and her Manson occult needs to be arrested. So anyway, so she's shouting out to herself her future whenever she joined because she's using Navy. And then she also used, you can see in this, hill of beans. So when you say hill of beans, you're saying lying. Okay. So she's bragging about lying. Okay. And getting away with a lying. She's also using her occult, Charles Manson, putting a Charles Manson autograph on it because beans is associated to coffee, is associated to Abigail Folger, one of her victims. Okay. She took Abigail Folger's life. Okay. So anyway, and then Hill of Beans, and then that is where we're at now, present day to the end, her trying to create an artificial war by spreading lies and trying to make it look like it's Mexico starting a war when it's not. It's Jean frickin' Roberts and her Manson occult that she's making a racial reference. And someone told me today, they go, you know, some people think when it comes to that word, it just depends on who it is because it depends on its context or its tone, because some people think that's really, it's cute, like it's cute. And some people get really offended. Some people get really, really mad. Okay. She's making a racial slur. She's making a racial slur is what she's doing. So, and then she's probably doing hob and then knob is probably what she's doing. Because she wants to be famous. But they said some people think it's really cute, and some people are like, no. So anyway, her planning to call me a liar in the future, now present day, also shows her future lies, pre-planned, and future war. So she's basically saying she's going to create an artificial war. Okay, so now I am switching subjects. So remember when I told you about the snake terrorism? Okay, so here's more evidence that she iced LL Cool J's lyrics. So anyway, I've got all kinds of evidence. I decoded so much of her icing rappers when they were little. These rappers are the same age I am. And she loves to blame everything on rappers. Like they were just all of a sudden little freaking Einsteins at like 5 years old and just like creating a cacophony of like diabolical schemes against the planet. I mean, when you talk to Jean Roberts, she will blame everything on everybody else. She used ice, which is really should make you angry. The struggle of African Americans in trying to make it and trying to get equality, maintain equality in all areas and facets and arenas of the United States of America, everywhere, in everything, from medical care to fair pay to everything. In Hollywood, everything, everywhere, have struggled and freaking fought and fought and fought. So here they are, like getting somewhere, like smashing freaking glass and getting somewhere, and that freaking honky freaking conehead bitch is icing them. Like, can people just not have anything of their own without you freaking stabbing and trying to control them? Anyway, so one of his songs, this came out when I lived in Chicago. I Can't Live Without My Radio. And you ever see all code early 70s? You ever see all code on LL Cool J? I decoded her stalking LL Cool J. So anyway, he has a line. I don't know the exact lyrics to it. I only know what I hear. But I hear and I've always heard, I think it's I Can't Live Without My Radio. And it says my JVC breaks the concrete. That's what I always hear. That's what I've always heard. And I've always loved JVC brand. It's always been like one of my favorite brands. And it's because of LL Cool J. Just like Kangol hats. So anyway, just like Pumas. Just like what else did he come out with? Fubu. FUBU was, but I'm always too, I was older then when FUBU came out, but like all those, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, so my JVC breaks the concrete. Now replace the J with the P. My PVC breaks the concrete. That's a sign of future terrorism. Okay, I was told that those snakes that she has underground are in polyurethane tubing. I don't think it's all in polyurethane tubing, but I know some of it is in polyurethane tubing, PVC piping. And when I lived in Texas, when I was going through snake terrorism directly, when she had unleashed a massive amount of them and major snake runs, I can't even explain it all how bad it was. But anyway, I figured out real quick the concrete, the sidewalk, the like sidewalk versus the street, what do you call that on the pavement? The sidewalk versus the pavement. Pavement, everything that they're doing, the snakes are doing, how they attack from underneath, they blow up fumes. And there's electrical snakes. There's all kinds of, oh my God, I got shocked by them on my head and on my spine. In my ears. Oh my God, what are they called? Oh my God, I can't think of what they're called now. Anyway, their electrical volts are like fierce, and you can feel them like slithering and moving and everything. They're very wide. They're very big. They're very long. So anyway, I figured out real quick, if you stand on the pavement, you've got more chance than if you stand on a sidewalk, because the sidewalk is brittle. When they push up on the sidewalk, it cracks. It goes boom, it just cracks. The pavement is flexible. So like if you're like in the middle of like total ass snake terrorism, you're going to want to freaking stand on the freaking pavement because you've got room to move. You can feel them as they move more. The concrete just snaps. So anyway, so my JVC breaks the concrete, my PVC. So, and then look at the initials, J and P, Jeep. And then she got LL Cool J doing a Jeep commercial, a Jeep ad. And he told me in my brain later on, he's like, label, that he's a celebrity. He has to do what he's told to do, just like a lot of celebrities, which again makes me mad at the fans, because I don't know how in the hell you let that woman rip apart and control artists like that. That's ridiculous. But anyway, so, okay, so, let me end this recording there and then I'll start a new one.